Hey everyone, we've got new nominating contract packs and match passes on eFootball. I'm going to take a look at the players that we've got. As always, I'll put timestamps in the description for each player and for the summary at the end. So if there's a particular player you want to hear about, click the description and there we have a link to take you straight to them. So we'll start with the Turkish League pack. Got a bunch of 3, 4 and 5 star players in here. We'll take a look at these guys, starting with the lowest rated as always. So got a couple of centre backs for 3 stars. This guy, Topçu. First thing that stands out, his engagement sucks. 79 defensive engagement is not good enough. The rest of his defensives, the core attributes here, are actually pretty strong, especially for a 3-star. Pace, pretty average for a centre-back. He's not the quickest. Jumping, there's another big weakness we've got here. 68 for jumping, that's not great. He's 6'2", but that's really not great for jumping. Physical contact 83 is okay. Down the left, not brilliant. You can't expect too much for a centre-back, especially at 3 stars, but with jumping 68, let's have a check. Does he have aerial superiority? He does. So 6'2", aerial superiority, but 68 jumping. I think on the whole, he's not going to be brilliant in the air. He's got decent height and aerial superiority, but with that jumping 68, it's going to hold him back. He's not going to be terrible in the air, but he's not going to be great. He does have interception and blocker. Got headings, go with aerial superiority, slide and tackle. He doesn't have man marking. That for me is a significant miss. Doesn't have acrobatic clearance either. So yeah, for this guy, he's only a 3-star, but defensive engagement, sorry, can't say that properly. Defensive engagement is too low. Jumping is a big concern. Lacking man marking. On the whole, there are some strengths there, but I wouldn't take the risk with the weaknesses he's got. I'm not a big fan of this card. And also, he's got left back, defensive and centre mid. You can figure out about all those other positions because he's nowhere near good enough technically. So he's only a centre back, and like I say, his weaknesses for me are just too significant. So not a great card in my opinion. Then we have an attacking midfielder, Çekiçi. Not sure if I said that right. This guy's okay. He can play centre mid, but clearly he's not good enough defensively to do that. Attacking mid or wide left or wide right. He's right-footed. Lofted pass only 74. He doesn't have pinpoint crossing, so I wouldn't play him wide on the right. He does have soul control, which is nice. Long range curler, long range shooting, and one-touch pass is good. He doesn't have through passing. That's a big shame for a creative playmaker attacking midfield. It's a shame he doesn't have through passing, but he does have one-touch pass and long-range shooting and long-range curler, like I say, are good ones to have. Finishing's not too bad at 74. Lofted pass, like I say, 74. He doesn't have pinpoint crossing, so he's not going to have the best cross on him. But low pass at 86 is good. On the ball, he's pretty tidy, but very good ball control. Not going to be much of a dribbler, though. 82 dribbling, 81 type possession, so he's going to be okay. He's going to be decent on the ball, but probably not one for the dribblers. Attacking awareness 76 is all right, not brilliant. He's a creative playmaker though, so he's not been making too many runs beyond the defense and stuff. Pace is decent for an attacking midfielder. Balance isn't too great. Stamina as well, 74. He'll get tired. But yeah, decent pace, and he's got long range curler. So for a right footer, I think you could get away with him wide left. I think he'd probably be best in an attacking midfielder because he does a very good low pass. Just a shame he's not got through passing. But on the whole, with some decent pace, technically decent, good passing, I think he's a tidy player. For 3 stars, he's a decent enough option. I think especially with the Turkish League challenge, could be one worth having to play attacking midfield. And like I say, you could probably get away with him wide left as well. So yeah, not a brilliant card, but for a 3-star, I think he's okay. And then we have Yehezkel. I've almost certainly said that wrong. I've got to be honest, what is this? He can run really, really fast, but he can't do anything else. I mean, he's either a right wing or a right back. If he's a right back, he can't defend. If he's a right winger, he can't do anything. He's rubbish. Look how bad he is. What is this, Konami? Look at the skills. Okay, long range curl, long range shooting, pinpoint crossing. Okay, so he's got some shooting and crossing skills. So his shooting and crossing are going to be a little bit less terrible. Honestly, all you've got here, really, you've got a budget Usain Bolt. If you want to budget Usain Bolt, happy days. You can use your 3-star contract on this guy. Otherwise, I'll cut to the chase. This guy is absolutely rubbish. And then our last 3-star, Güler. Again, probably said that wrong. So, first place you look for a centre-back down the middle. Pretty strong. Defensive engagement 84 is not brilliant, but this is a 3-star card. 2 of these 90 plus, and that defensive awareness will be 90 plus with the game plan boost. So he's pretty strong on the whole down the middle. A little bit on the slow side though, so he's a bit lacking in pace. Physical contact's decent, 87. It's pretty good. Jumping 77 though is not brilliant. He's only 6 foot tall as well. If we look at his skills, he does not have aerial superiority or heading, so he's not going to be good in the air. Acrobatic clearance, sliding tackle, blocker. Blocker's the best one he's got there, but he's not got interception, he's not got man marking, he's not got the aerial skills. Down the left here, he is only a centre back, but he's in the 50s for all of these. That's shocking. He can certainly rule out playing right back. He cannot play right back. He's an extra front man as well. Keep that in mind. So he's an extra front man. He's going to start trying to maraud forwards out of defence, getting involved in the build-up in the midfield. With those attributes, yikes, that's scary. I don't like that playing style in general, but for a guy who's that bad technically, that's shocking, really. Got some strength there. The core defensives are good, and he's physically strong, but weak in the air, lacking in pace, technically terrible. Don't like the playing style personally. For me personally, it's not a great card. So onto the 4 stars. We'll start with Thiam, centre forward. So decent awareness, good finishing, terrible on the ball, not good passing, average pace. Some of these physicals are decent there. The physical contact's pretty good. The jumping's pretty good. Balance isn't great though. He's going to be awkward. He's about 6'1", so he's one of these players who's going to be pretty awkward when he gets on the ball. Not the most manoeuvrable. Looking at the skills, he does have some decent skills here. First time shot, the most important one for a striker. Heading, acrobatic finishing, he'll be decent from crosses, but not brilliant without aerial superiority. Just decent. Long range shooting is a nice one to have. He's got track back. Keep an eye on that. 73 stamina. So this guy's going to track back if you don't put a counter target on him. So he will get tired in a. I mean, yeah, I think whatever you do, he's going to get tired. It's not great stamina. He's got wide left. He's got wide right. I don't think he's got the technical ability to play out wide. Ultimately, for me, I think it would be kind to describe this guy as average. I don't think this is a great card. He's got some strengths. He'll be reasonable from crosses. A little bit of pace about him, awareness and finishing, but with the technicals being so low, yeah, for me personally, this isn't a great card, and I don't think it's great value for a 4-star contract. And then we have Pedrinho. This guy, I think, is decent. So he's down as a centre midfielder, orchestrator, but I think this is a classic case of a player who's better played in one of his other positions. He has one other position, which is attacking midfield. As a centre midfielder, he's not great defensively. We look at the skills here. There's nothing really defensive here. He's got soul control, long range shooting, first time shot, which is great. One touch pass and through passing is great. Low lofted pass as well, that's nice. Sliding tackle, that's one skill he does have defensively. I missed that, but let's be honest, that's not going to make up for him being defensively weak, and he's lacking interception or anything else. He's not going to be a centre midfielder, but with all his attacking skills, he looks very tidy on the ball. He's not a dribbler, clearly. He's not got a great deal of pace. Dribbling's only 80, but ball control is fantastic at 92. Tight possession is good. His passing is not amazing, but it's pretty decent. Attacking awareness could be better, but it could be worse as well. Finishing 68, that will hit the 70 mark if you get a good game plan boost. Balance is pretty good. Stamina's okay. Yeah, the orchestrated playing style will not be active at attacking midfield, so he won't, that playing style as a centre mid, he will loiter around the middle. He won't run forward much, but as an attacking midfielder, taking that orchestrated play style away, he will move forward a bit more. He'll be more like a creative playmaker, I think. And he's not the quickest, not a great dribbler, but technically he's good. He's got a very good skill set. I think this guy's a tidy attacking midfielder, to be honest. I think for a 4-star contract, he's pretty good value. Then we have our goalkeeper, Niță. Again, probably said that wrong. So the first place you look for a goalie, obviously, is his core goalkeeping attributes. The awareness, the reflexes, the reach, all in the high 80s. All 3 of those will hit 90 with a good game plan boost. Catching and parrying, they're okay. Not brilliant, but not many goalkeepers are good with those 2. So on the whole, with the core goalkeeping attributes, this guy's got some really good attributes there. You're thinking, okay, for a 4-star, he's really good. As always, goalkeepers are getting to these player of the month and player of the week packs. According to Konami, if you're playing really well as a goalkeeper, that means you can't jump. I'm tired of trying to make sense of the fact that they do that with all these trending goalies, but yeah, he can't jump and he's 6 foot tall. So chip shots, high balls into the box, there's going to be a liability there. You got to keep an eye on that. And one other thing I think is worth mentioning, his distribution is terrible. 50 and 52 for low and lofted pass. Be careful with this guy. If you can remember, anytime you get the ball back to this guy to the feet, I would try and remember to just press square and just clear it. Don't bother trying to pass it. Just clear the ball as far downfield as you possibly can, because his passing is terrible. The other attributes here, I mean, the speed and acceleration in the 40s. He's got some other terrible stats here. I guess this is why he's a 4-star card, because his core goalkeeping attributes are fantastic for a 4-star. So if you keep in mind the other attributes, whether it's the speed, the distribution, they're obviously not the most important for goalies, but they are terrible. So keep those in mind. He also can't jump. Obviously, this is what Konami do with Player of the Month and Player of the Week goalkeepers, but the core goalkeeping attributes are great. So keep the weaknesses in mind, but focusing on their strengths, he does have really, really good attributes where it counts for a goalkeeper. So for a 4-star card, I think he's actually pretty decent, especially for the Turkish League Challenge. So yeah, on the whole, I think it's a decent value for a 4-star. Then we have Özdemir. One of those pronunciations is probably at least close to being correct. So another orchestrator, but I think this guy actually is an orchestrator. That playstyle will be active in either of his positions, but I think that does suit him. DMF orchestrator. You could play him as a CMF. Not a great deal of difference, but when you look at this guy's attributes, he's basically got a bit of everything. So down the left, he doesn't have much attacking awareness. I don't think that's too important for an orchestrator, especially if you're playing DMF. On the ball, he's clearly not a dribbler, but he's tidy enough. The ball control over 80. Tight possession will hit 80 with a good game plan boost. Passing's pretty decent. Down the middle there, defensive awareness is good. Tackling's decent. Not the most aggressive, but engagement 79. Again, that will hit 80 with the game plan boost. Pace isn't brilliant. He's not quick. He's not a dribbler. We know this. He's not going to be the most maneuverable, but physical contact's good. He's a strong guy, 5'11", balance 78. Again, game plan boost, we'll get to the 80 mark with that one. Stamina's decent. I think for an orchestrator, that'll be fine. Looking at the skill set, okay, rising shot, long range shooting, first time shot. Is he going to get forward much? Is his finishing high? No, I think he can pretty much ignore those shooting skills, but one touch pass and weighted pass, he'll have nice passing. Interception is the crucial one if you're playing defensive midfield and fighting spirit. He's very much a deep line playmaker who's got a little bit of everything. I think he's pretty tidy. He's not amazing, but for this style of player, he's going to be playing maybe he's in a double pivot, either CMF or DMF. As long as you've got at least one other midfielder in there who's doing defensive work. And to be honest, even if you don't, he is fairly strong defensively. I think he's just a good, tidy, technically tidy all-rounder. He's got a bit of defensive strength and physical strength. I think this guy for a 4-star as a defensive midfielder or centre midfielder, I think he's pretty useful. I think he's good value. And then the last 4-star, Muleka. So this guy's interesting because he's down as a right midfielder, whole player. Whole player is an active playing style as a right midfielder. He'll make some good runs into spaces, getting into attacking positions from the right midfield. Fantastic pace. On the ball, great dribbling. He's not brilliant with his controller type possession though. Awareness is very good. Passing, low and lofted pass, not brilliant. So question mark over his end product as a right midfielder. Finishing's very good for a right midfielder. Heading's decent, 81, and jumping 80. He's 5'11", 5'10" maybe. So yeah, he'll be decent in the air. Balance and stamina, not brilliant. So is he great as a right winger? Does he have the skills to compensate for his passing being poor? No, there's no crossing, no through passing, none of that. But heading, acrobatic finishing, so he will be decent in the air. First time shot. He's got soul control as well. Super sub. We need to look at this guy as a centre forward. That's what he is. He's not a winger at all. I don't think this guy should be playing on the wing. I think he's a centre forward. He won't have a playing style active there, but with these skills here, first time shot, heading, acrobatic finishing, as a super sub as well, with that pace, awareness decent for a centre forward. Finishing could be better for a centre forward, but it could be worse as well. As I say, he's going to be decent in the air, great dribbling. Passing for a centre forward is actually decent. I think if you look at this guy as a centre forward, especially with the super sub skill and with that pace, I think he could be really useful actually, especially in the Turkish League Challenge. But even outside of it, if he gets form in any given week, obviously he's not got it right now, but in a week where he gets A or B form, I think he could be a useful one to have in the squad to bring him off the bench with that pace, decent awareness and the rest. I think he's got good strengths as a striker. I think for a 4-star, using him as a striker, especially as a super sub, again, I think that's pretty good value. And then we have 2 5-stars. So Kadıoğlu. Kadıoğlu is an interesting one. So I've had 2 versions of him before. I've got one from a recent Turkish League pack. And he's been very good for me. He's down as a fullback. He can play right back or left back. But the 2 versions I've got, I've trained as a winger because I think he's much better as a winger. His skills, his attributes, they just suit him much better as a winger. This one can't be trained though. So what you're looking at, you're thinking, is he a fullback? Is he a winger? As a fullback, he can't really defend very well. He's got interception. Looking at the skills here, as I say, loads of attacking stuff. But defensively, it's just interception. That's all he's got. So he's got the bare minimum defensively. As a fullback, yeah, he's got pace. He's got fantastic stamina. Not a lot of physical contact. Defensive attributes not great. All he's got is interception. If you want a very attacking fullback and he's just going to focus mainly on getting forward from defense, okay, right back or left back could do a job for you there, especially in that Turkish League Challenge again. But you've got to look at this guy as a winger, in my opinion. The pace is pretty decent, especially acceleration. Balance is okay. Stamina's brilliant. On the ball is pretty tidy. Low and lofted pass are both okay. The two versions I've had of him have been better than this. Certainly the way I've trained him, I've given him very good passing and low and lofted pass. He's very good at crossing especially. I think he's a bit better on the ball as well. So I don't think this is a particularly great version of Kadıoğlu. But this card, I think, is best as a winger with the attributes he's got. And going back to these skills, as I say, a bit of dribbly stuff. Soul control is nice. Long range shooting, acrobatic finishing. But pinpoint crossing, I think, is the key. This guy's right-footed. He's got outside curler. I think he'd be tidy enough on the left, but certainly on the right. That's where I've used mine the most. With the pace, decent on the ball, and he's got crossing ability. I think right wing's where he's best, but he's versatile. Like I say, if you don't mind him being very attacking and not having much strength in defence, he could do a job as an attacking fullback for you, either side, and likewise on the wing either side. But I think right wing is where he's best, and I think with the versatility and certainly the ability he's got as a winger, I think is a pretty tidy card to pick up. And certainly with that Turkish League challenge, the versatility he's got could be very useful. And then finally, we've got Icardi. So this is pretty much what you expect from Icardi. Good awareness, good finishing. He's tidy enough on the ball, but not brilliant. Certainly not a dribbler. Passing is not brilliant. Heading 82, jumping 81. So he's going to be decent in the air. He's 5'11". So yeah, not brilliant in the air, but decent. Pace isn't the best, but he's never been the quickest. Not the strongest physically or with his balance, and that stamina is something to keep an eye on as well. You look at the skills, again, it's what you expect really. First time shot the most important because of acrobatic finishing, rising shot, chip shots. It's got heading. So again, heading and acrobatic finishing, decent in the air, decent from crosses. One touch pass and through passing. So passing not the best, but those skills will help. Those skills will help with his passing. He still won't have great passing, but it will make his passing okay. So on the whole, you know, it's clear it's not an elite level card, but I think especially in the Turkish League challenge could be a handy one to pick up. And on the whole, even though he's not a top level player by any means, I think he's pretty tidy. He'll be in the right place at the right time to get goals for you. Feed him with through passes, pass into the box, and from crosses. Not brilliant, but on the whole, I think a pretty tidy card. Could be useful to pick up. So that is the Turkish League pack. We also have one of these mid-season MVP packs. We've got 8 players in here. We're going to have a look at these players, and then we'll look at the match pass, and then I'll summarise the best of the nominating contracts. So we'll go on to eFootball Hub because these players are trainable. So where are we? Here we go. We'll start with Teuma. So Teuma, I'll be honest, he's a 4-star. Again, with eFootball Hub, ignore the star rating here. It's wrong. This is a 4-star card. He's not brilliant, you know. He's not brilliant on the ball. His passing is very good. Defensively, he's okay. He's down as a centre mid. He's one of these players. He's a whole player. And that player style will be active in both his positions, centre midfield and attacking midfield. You can get away with him defensively with his defensive attributes. You look down at the skills here, he's got interceptions. So again, you've got kind of the bare minimum really for defensively. Maybe I'm being a bit harsh because, you know, he's quite aggressive. He's got good engagement, but the tackling's not great. Awareness is fairly poor. Will hit 70 with the game plan boost, obviously. But yeah, not the quickest, not the strongest, not great balance. I wouldn't like him as a centre midfielder myself. I would just focus on him being an attacking midfielder. On that basis, I'd take those points away from defending. I'll give him more balance, a bit more offensive awareness as well. That will hit the 80 mark with game plan boost. Passing, you can afford to take some away from there. Give him a bit more dribbling maybe. And then another one, dexterity maybe, or maybe just more lower body. More dexterity. We've got 1 point left. Stick it on aerial. Stick it on shooting even. Yeah. That's what I'd do. So there you see, a bit better on the ball. Passing still pretty decent. The attacking awareness will hit 80 in the game plan. Likewise, balance. Stamina's pretty decent, but still not the quickest. Kicking power is great. That will hit 90 with the game plan boost. But even with that game plan boost there, you see, I don't think he's great, to be honest. I think for a 4-star, he's okay. You know, if he's your cup of tea, if he's a player you like, it'll be a decent one to pick up. But honestly, if he's not someone you're particularly fond of in real life or anything like that, I don't think this is really great value for a 4-star. He's okay. He's not a bad card, but I don't think he's a particularly good one either. So nothing to get excited about, in my opinion. Budimir. This one's interesting. So we've got a striker here who he's kind of built like a target man in a way, but I'm not really sure what to make of him. He's about 6'3". He's a big guy. He's quite well built. He's a fox in the box. Strong physically, good awareness, very good awareness. The finishing's pretty decent, likewise the heading, but Is he a target man? Is he a guy who's gonna be amazing in the air? I mean, jumping's only 71. You look down at the skill set here, he's got aerial superiority and heading. So, okay, maybe he is going to be good in the air. Maybe that's the focus. But with 71 for jumping, 6'3", he's not going to be amazing in the air. He's not going to be that great in the air. That 71 jumping will hold him back. He's got a first-time shot, which is key for a striker. Track back, you might not like that. You might want to put counter target on him, stop him from getting tired, stop him from tracking back. Dipping shot. Soul control is nice, especially for a big guy, but he's not great on the ball. You know, the ball control is okay. Dribbling and tight possession are bad. Passing is bad. I don't know what to make of this guy, you know. Not got much pace. The acceleration reasonable. I'm not sure what I'll do with him. Take a bit away from dexterity, maybe. If he took 4 away from there, made him a little bit better on the ball, and then his ball control is going to hit 80 on the game plan boost. A little bit more speed, and then he got 8 points. Just bump his area up, make him a bit better in the air. I think personally I'd probably do that because you got to make the most of a guy's strengths. You got to focus on what he's good at. And this guy's tall and strong. He's got aerial superiority, so I think I would do that. Give him a bit of a boost to his aerials, make him a bit better in the air. It would be nice if he had acrobatic finishing because then I'd be a bit more comfortable with him from crosses and you know, just I would just feel like he's at least got a strength and something to focus on. As it is with the jumping not being higher and no acrobatic finishing, I'm not sure how good he would be from crosses, and outside of that, there's not a lot of strength there, apart from obviously having decent awareness and finishing. But yeah, I think that's what I'd do with his build, and that I think would make him a decent striker from crosses. He's, like I say, he's kind of built like a target man, but the fox in the box play style means he'll be a bit more aggressive with his movement. A target man will just kind of stand around. Fox in the box will make more runs, not as aggressively as a goal poacher, but he will have a bit more movement about him than a target man. So yeah, got some strengths, I think, certainly with his physical strength and being decent in the air, and he's got decent awareness in finishing. So he's kind of just like a tall, slow all-rounder, really. But on the whole, I don't see anything about him personally that makes me really want to pick him up for a 4-star contract. I don't think he's that exciting, but there are some strengths there, and if he's your cup of tea, he could be a decent one. Rugani is the last of our 4-stars. So we've got a centre-back. And for a 4-star centre-back, I'll be honest, he's pretty solid. Down the middle here, there's no real weakness. He's pretty strong. Nothing amazing, but all pretty strong down the middle for these most important attributes for a centre-back. The pace is pretty average. You know, the speed isn't particularly high, but he's got 70 acceleration, so not quick, but certainly not particularly slow. Pretty average pace. Jumping and physical, kind of okay. You know, they're not particularly high, but neither particularly weak either. Stamina, keep an eye on that. Will probably get a bit tired late in the game with only 72 there. Heading 84 to go with the jump and physical in the 80s. So yeah, this is a 4-star card. He's not going to be amazing, but he looks pretty solid. Looking at the skills down here, man marking and interception, 2 of the most important skills for a centre-back. Aerial superiority likewise. Sliding tackle is a nice one. It would be nice if he had blocker and maybe acrobatic clearance, but he's got some of the most important ones. One-touch pass is a lovely bonus for a centre-back to have. Yeah, if you're going to get him, if you're a Juventus fan, stick him in the Juventus squad, it'd probably be worth putting, I would say, blocker on him, maybe heading as well, but his heading's decent at 84. But on the whole, yeah, I think, to be honest, for a 4-star centre-back, I think he's pretty solid. There's nothing outstanding about him, but there's no major glaring weakness either. I think it's just for a 4-star card, that's decent value for a centre-back. Then we have Ricardo Horta from Braga. So we've got an attacking midfielder, creative playmaker, but he can also play left or right. To be honest, this guy to me is just kind of decent. There's nothing amazing about him. He's not got the best pace. Good balance, very good on the ball, decent passing. Finishing's very good for an attacking midfielder or winger at 81. Offensive awareness is good as well. Looking down the skills, long range drive, long range shooting, first time shot. So he's got some shooting skills to go with 8-1 finishing. This guy's going to have a really good shot on him. One-touch pass and through passing as well. Crucial ones for an attacking midfielder. So. And heel trick's nice as well, and then captaincy is a nice little bonus. But yeah, he's got the passing and shooting, so he's going to have some end product. There's just nothing amazing about him. I mean, hitting that game plan boost, you'll see there on the ball. 2 of them hitting 90. He's going to be really nice on the ball, but I don't know. There's nothing outstanding about him to me. I think the finishing is his biggest strength as an attack midfielder or a winger. It's very good, but, you know, with those shooting skills to go with it. But I'll be tempted to maybe take a bit off his dribbling. You could take a bit off his finishing. Just down to 78 maybe, then he's still hit 80 with the game plan boost. Give him a bit more speed. There's a 1 point on defending. I'll take that back. Thank you very much. Now we've got 5 left. So what we're going to boost there, maybe put a bit more back on dribbling maybe. Now you've got 2 points left. Yeah, stick on shooting, to be honest. Get up to the 80 mark. To be honest, on the whole, I think he's decent. You could get away with him on the left. He's got, with the shooting ability that he's got, the finishing attribute, the fact he's got long range drive, long range shooting, first time shot, cutting in from the left flank onto his right foot could be very effective. On the right, he doesn't have pinpoint crossing, but lofted pass 81's okay. You could get away with him on the right. As an attacking midfielder, not the strongest, and he's not got too much pace, but outside of that, the balance, good on the ball, good passing, very good shooting, good offensive awareness, could be pretty tidy there. I think just on the whole, like I say, it's a decent card. He's pretty solid. There's nothing bad about him, really. It's just there's nothing particularly outstanding. He's a 5-star player, this, so you're going to need a 5-star nominating contract for him. I don't personally think it's great value for a 5-star contract, but like I say, he's a decent player. If you like him in real life, if you're a Braga fan, I think it'd be a great card to pick up. But outside of that, nothing particularly excited about him, but certainly nothing bad about him either. I think it's a decent card on the whole, just not great for a 5-star contract. Then we have Vicario, our goalkeeper. So honestly, good solid goalkeeper. Nothing really stands out here. I would like his awareness to be a bit higher. 84 for me. That's 3-star goalkeeper awareness. It's not great. This is a 5-star player, so I'm thinking, okay, can we boost that at all? Going off Konami logic, goalkeepers don't need to be able to jump, so let's just take those points away. And then how else we're gonna boost that? If we take one off his reach, because we'll get a booster 2 if we've got a good enough manager in the game plan. So take one off there. And that gives us 6 points. Stick them both on his goalkeeper awareness. Yeah, I would do that. The reflex and reach will both hit 90 with the game plan. Game plan boost with a good enough manager. Catching and parrying are both okay. Awareness now 86, and again you'll get another 2 on that, so I'll go to 88 in the game plan hopefully. Yeah, good solid keeper. Nothing outstanding about him. And he's got good reach, good reflexes. He's about 6'4", so he's a pretty tall guy. So for good reach on the goalkeepers towards him, he's going to have very good coverage and very good reflexes, and the awareness, the way I've trained him there is pretty decent as well. So yeah, not an elite level keeper, but certainly a good solid one. Then we have Todibo from Nice. So he's been linked with a few Premier League teams lately. Yeah, he's got some strengths. So defensive awareness stands out straight away, 90. The tackling is decent as well. He's aggressive, but engagement 84, is that a bit low? It's a little bit low for me. I'd like it to be higher, but it could be worse. Speed's good. 82 is very good speed for a centre-back. Acceleration is not great, but with the speed being what it is, you can have pretty good pace on the whole. Jumping 83, is about 6'3". Looking down here at the skills, he does have aerial superiority in heading. So on the whole, quite tall, aerial superiority, not the best jumping. He'll be fairly good in the air. Physical contact is great at 88. That will hit 90 in the game plan. If you get a good enough manager. Likewise, tackling will. Stamina, probably going to get tired. This guy is an extra front man. So again, an extra front man. He's going to roam forward. He's going to want to get involved in the build-up. He'll step forward into the midfield. So he's going to run around more than most centre-backs. Certainly more than build-up or destroy a centre-backs. So keep an eye on that stamina. He's probably going to get tired late in the game. Looking at the rest of his skills down here. Rabona, fantastic. That's a really useful skill for a centre-back. Marseille turn likewise. Weighted pass is a nice bonus. Man marking and interception are important. Acrobatic clearance likewise. Would be nice if we had blocker. I think the one skill, if I'm going to get this guy and use him regularly, blocker is probably one that I'd look to put on him. But outside of that, yeah, it's a pretty strong centre-back. You've got to be mindful of the extra frontman playing style. Engagement could be a little bit higher, and stamina likewise. He's going to get tired late in the game. But outside of that, he's got some very good strengths. And yeah, if he's your cup of tea, it could be a decent centre-back to pick up. And then we have Griezmann. Oh, this is a good card. So we've had a couple of Griezmanns in the past that are about 97 rated at maximum, I think. So this isn't the best one we've had, but at 96, it's one of the best. It's a good version of him. Whole player playing style as well. A lot of people will like that. He can play attacking midfield, SS, striker, or as a forward wide on the left or the right. So he's versatile. He's not got a great deal of pace. So I'm not sure how effective he'd be playing out wide. I think at his best, certainly with whole player not being active as a wide right or wide left, I think making the most of what he's got as a whole player, I think AMF for us is where he will be best. You could get away with him as a striker. You could probably allocate a few points to offensive awareness, but without more pace or physical strength, I think certainly SS or AMF will be the best positions to use him in. The way his points are allocated, personally, if I'm playing AMF or SS, I'd like him to have a bit more on his passing. If we just have a quick look at his skills down there, double touch is nice for the dribblers, chip shots, rising shots. Acrobatic finishing is helpful. Heel trick's nice. The important ones though, first time shot and through passing. Pinpoint crossing, his lofted pass isn't great. I don't think you're going to be doing a lot of crossing with this guy. You can play him out wide, but even if you play him out wide and even with pinpoint crossing, I don't think his crossing is going to be great with his lofted pass being so low. But first time shots, certainly in attacking positions, is a very important one to have. Through passing likewise is great. He doesn't have one touch pass. If you pick this guy up and plan to use him a lot, I think that's the one skill. The first skill I'd look to get on him is one touch pass, but through passing is very good. So that passing, like I say, that's what I want to focus on. I'll take a few away from dribbling personally, and then stick a load of points on passing. He's got one on aerial. I don't think you need that. So now we've got 2 points to spare. His finishing at 89 is, if you use him as a striker, it's great. If you use him as an SS or an AMF, that's really, really good. You don't need that much on his finishing. You could probably take all 8 off that. 81 is still good enough as if you're playing SS or AMF. So now we could maybe go up to 8 on low body, give him a bit more pace. That will hit 80 with a good game plan boost. What else could we get higher now? We can increase one of these by 2. Personally, I'll do dexterity actually. I'll put that on dexterity, some nice offensive awareness for a whole player playing behind the attack. Better balance as well now. He's not the strongest physically, and he's not got great the other pace, so balance will be helpful when you're trying to hold on to the ball. Yeah, that's probably what I'd do. It's not a great leap from the auto allocation, but like I say, good offensive awareness for a whole player in attacking positions. He's very tidy on the ball. Decent passing, not amazing, but decent. He does have through passing. Again, one touch pass would be a nice addition. Finishing 81 is good. I would leave that higher than 81 if you're going to play him up front, but I think AMF or SS, that's good. He's got decent pace now. The balance, like I say, here an 80. Stamina's not too bad. To be honest, I think most of us know what to expect from Griezmann. He's technically very tidy. He's got end product, that whole player playing style as well. I think that'll make him very effective. He's got a bit of versatility about him. I think it's just a very good, strong card. I think everyone knows what to expect from Griezmann. If you like Griezmann, I quite like him. I don't have any version of him so far. I've not had him so far in eFootball, so personally, I'm going to pick him up, and I think it's a pretty good 5-star card, to be honest. And then our final one from the pack, nominating contract pack, is Declan Rice. So he's a box-to-box. That's the first thing to notice with Declan Rice. He's been a destroyer usually in the past. Might have been an anchor man at one point, but he's a box-to-box now. So he's getting up and down the field. Less so as if you play him as DMF, but even if you play him as a DMF, he still will run forward quite a bit. If you're going to play him DMF and you want him to be playing as a real defensive player, protecting your defense, put the defensive instruction on him. That will stop him marauding forward. But if you do that, if you do play him in that position, he's very strong defensively. He's tidy enough on the ball. I personally would like a few more points on there, but most people I think would be okay with that. Passing likewise, I would like it to be a bit higher, but most are okay with that. Pace isn't brilliant, but he's a big physical guy. That's what he's all about. Likewise, the balance isn't great, but he's got good physical contact, great stamina as well. Playing as a defensive midfielder, I think the auto allocation is near enough what you'd need. You could put a bit more on his technicals, like I say, but very strong defensive midfielder. Looking down here, weighted pass and low lofted pass. One touch pass would be nice. He's not got great balance. He's not the quickest. I think one touch pass will be important so you can make sure you can get those passes away nice and quick. Defensively, man marking, interception. He's got fighting spirit, sliding tackle. Captaincy's a nice bonus. Blocker would be nice, but not essential. On the whole, you could do with adding 1 or 2 skills as a defensive midfielder, but he's very, very strong in that position. As a centre midfielder, box to box, if you want to make him more of an all-rounder, you can take a whole load off his defensives. To be honest, take it right down to 4. The first 4 are only 1 point each, so we'll leave 4 on there. You don't need as much physical contact. He's already got great stamina. Speed's all right. Dexterity's the one. I'll put a load on dexterity. Now I've got 12 points still. Bit more passing, bit more dribbling. Boom. As an all-round box-to-box midfielder, again, I think it's even more important to put one touch pass on if you play him centre mid, maybe through passing as well. But in terms of his attributes, defensively very strong for a centre mid, good physical contact, decent passing now, much tidier on the ball, bit more offensive awareness, still got a very good stamina, a bit quicker now. You could make him a very effective centre mid box to box. I think good in that position if you use him in that way, but if I'm honest, you're going to get the most value out of this guy if you use him as a defensive midfielder. I'd stick him at defensive midfield with a build similar to this. Put a defensive instruction on him and he'll protect your defense very well. But whichever way you do it, I think one touch pass is a must skill-wise. But yeah, like Griezmann, as a 5-star card, you know roughly what you're getting from him. Very good value. I think it's just a good 5-star card. So we're going to look at the match pass now. Where's my cursor gone? So match pass. There we go. So we have 2 match passes as always. We have the value and the premium. Just to remind you of the numbers, it's 500 coins for value, it's 1,000 for premium. If you do all the matches to get all the rewards, you will get 300 coins back from value. No, sorry, 200 back from value, my bad, and 300 back from premium. So if you're doing all the matches to get the coins back, in effect, the value will cost you 300, the premium will cost you 700. If it's the first time you purchase the value, you get 250 coins off the price. And likewise, the first time you purchase the premium, you get 500 coins off. So there's some numbers for you to chew on just to kind of work out the kind of value you get. But we've got 2 players. The value player is Toni Kroos. The premium player is Bakayoko from PSV. So let's have a look at those 2 players. We'll start with Kroos. So Toni Kroos, again, it's similar to get rid of that cursor. It's similar to Griezmann and Rice. You know pretty much what to expect. You know, it's Toni Kroos. He's technically brilliant, good on the ball, amazing passing. He's not brilliant defensively. He's not the strongest physically. Personally, I think they should make him a bit better defensively. I think in real life, he's actually a bit more competent defensively, and he's not the weakest. But yeah, not the quickest either. Good kicking power and stamina as well. Keep an eye on that stamina. He is an orchestrator. He's not going to go making too many attacking runs. So I don't think he'll get too tired, but that is still dodgy for the stamina. Personally, it depends how you use him. I think as a centre mid, that build's okay. Looking at the skills down here, he's got interception, but again, that's the bare minimum. That's all he's got defensively, so he's not great defensively. If you're going to play him DMF, I think you need a bit more on his defensives there. You could maybe take some off his passing. You quite easily take some off his passing, to be honest. As a defensive mid, you can go all the way down there, get his defensives up a bit, get his physical contact up to 70. Still got 6 points there. I'll put that on lower body, to be honest, a bit more stamina. If you're playing on defensive mid, personally, that's the way I'd build him, I think. He's still great technically, but he's a bit better with his defensives. A bit more stamina on him as well. But I think if you want to make the most of this guy, you're gonna want him further up the pitch. So personally, like I said, the auto allocation is probably fine as a centre mid orchestrator, but you can use this guy as an attack midfielder. Again, I've said this before, but if you've got an orchestrator who can play an attack midfield, that play style won't be active anymore when you play him attack midfield. So I'll be making more runs forward. So personally, if you're going to use an attack midfield, get rid of all the defensives, get that dexterity up, get more passing back on him there, hit the 90 mark. Now we've got 4 points left where they're going. I'll put passing up by 1, 2 points left. I think the obvious thing to do is to put those 2 points on finishing, get up to the 70 mark. But with the game plan boost, you're going to get that 70 mark anyways. If you put the 2 on physical contact, that's going to hit 70 with the game plan boost as well. So I think as an attack midfielder, I'd do that. Looking at the skills he's got, we know what he's got. One touch passing, through passing, weighted pass, low lofted pass, pinpoint crossing, first time shot, rising shots, long range shooting, long range drive. If you're careful with the shooting, bearing in mind his finishing attributes not that high, you can have a very, very effective shot on him. Yeah, as an attack midfielder, I think this guy's really tidy. Still not the best pace, but bounce will hit 80 with the game plan boost. Likewise, offensive awareness, very tidy on the ball, great passing, can have a decent shot on him if you're careful, just don't ask too much of him. I've had a couple, I think I've got one version of Kroos from Player of the Week. He's a defensive midfielder, and he's built to play, he's built similar to the auto allocation on this one. For me personally, I would build this guy the way I've shown here and use him as an attack midfielder because I've already got one version of Kroos. But this guy, you can train him and you can make him an alternative option. Much more suitable, much more better suited to attack midfield. So I think for me, that would be where the value would come from this card. If I get this card, I would use him as an attack midfield. So then I've got an attack midfield version of Kroos and I've already got my existing defensive midfield version. If you've not got any version of Kroos, you've got different ways you can train him, obviously. Again, you know what you're getting from Kroos. Everyone knows what he's all about. He's a good card. He's not the most mobile. That's the thing with the slight lack of pace and strength. But technically, he's brilliant. So if he suits you, if you like Kroos, it's a great card to have if you've not got a version already. If you do have a version already, especially if it's a Player of the Week one, you could train this one a bit differently, like I'm suggesting here. So, yeah, it's Toni Kroos. It's a good card. Yeah, and it's the value one. So it's the cheaper of the 2 match passes. So if you do fancy a version of Kroos, I think for the amount of coins it costs you, it's not bad value at all. And then finally, Bakayoko. This is our premium match pass player. So 1,000 coins for the premium match pass. You'll get a few hundred back, but I think with this guy, it's pretty obvious what you're looking at. He's a wide right player. He wants to play as a forward on the right-hand side, cutting onto his left foot. And he's another one of these players who's got great pace, great dribbling, just lacking end product. So if that's your thing, if you're more concerned with players being good on the ball, you just want to dribble your way past defenders, get close to the goal, so you don't need a amazing finishing or passing when you get that close to the goal. If you keep your passes and shots simple, then he could be great for you. Like I say, great pace, very good balance, stamina's not too bad, although he probably will get tired. Offensive awareness is good for a wide forward. On the ball, he's good. He's got really good dribbling. It's just that end product there, the passing and the finishing. Looking down at the skills, bit of dribbly stuff for the dribblers, soul control. Heel trick's a nice one, but long range drive and first time shot, very good skills. For a left-footed right side forward playing on the right hand side, cutting in onto his left foot, long range drive and first time shot, very good skills to have. Through passing likewise, so those are all going to make up for his end product being a little bit lacking. You could take some points away from elsewhere. You could get a couple of dribbling, couple of dexterity, and then you can get these up a little bit like that. You've taken away a couple from dribbling, obviously, but again, game plan boost, it'll still hit the 90 mark. Speed and acceleration both over 90 is still going to be great, but you've got that extra end product there. I'd personally do it that way. It's not a huge difference, though. You can do it however you want, but either way, if he's your kind of player, I don't personally think he looks amazing. I'm not sure he's one to get too excited about, even if he is your type of player, but certainly he's not a bad one. With that pace, being good on the ball like he is, could be very effective as a forward on the right-hand side. So yeah, not an amazing card in my opinion, but if he's your kind of player, it could be a good one to pick up. So I'll just summarize now from the nominating contracts. As you can see, from the 3 stars, I'm just putting one guy in there. I honestly think the selection of 3-star players this time around is terrible. We've only got 4 players to use 3-star contracts on. That 3-star contracts, those are the contracts we get the most of, and they've only given us 4 options. You've got 2 centre backs who I don't think quite make the grade. I think if you're doing the Turkish League challenge, you choose a decent enough team, you're going to get some loan players who are probably just as good at centre back. You've got that guy who can play on the right hand side who's like a budget Usain Bolt, who's just absolutely awful. He's one of the worst 3-star cards I've ever seen. And then you've got this guy, Çekiçi, who is tidy, to be honest. He's okay, but even this guy, he's not that great. So, we're lacking a bit because we don't have the J-League packs. The J-League season finished last month. Yeah, it doesn't start again until February, so we've got a couple of months till we start getting those packs again. But there's other leagues. There's a Brazilian league. There's a Mexican league. There's a Thailand league. The Thailand league is up and running. Give us a Thailand league pack. Give us some decent 3-star Thai players, They're not short of options, but for some reason, we only get 4 3-star players this month. And in my opinion, they're rubbish. So disappointed with the 3 stars this month. I think this guy's okay, though. He might be worth picking up. From the 4 stars, I think it's a different story because the only one I've not included is Thiam, the striker from the Turkish League pack. I don't think he's particularly great, but all the other 4 stars I think might be decent value for a 4-star contract. Niță's got some terrible attributes outside of the most important ones, but the most important ones are very, very good. Muleka, not a right midfielder. Playing as a striker, especially coming off the bench, could be deadly, could be very useful. Pedrinho, I think, is a very tidy attacking midfielder. Özdemir, I think, is a pretty good looking all-rounder as a defensive midfielder, as a deep line playmaker. And then Rugani for a 4-star centre-back, pretty solid. So I think there's some decent value options for 4-star contracts, even if the 3 stars are absolutely terrible this month. So there you go. That's about that, really. So hopefully you found that useful. Thank you for watching, as always, and I'll see you soon. My God, that's a long video.